Okay, let's talk about the new things and features in version 5.5. First thing I want to talk about is Ag.io. Not very many changes, but one for sure is a separate RTCM port. If you want to send your RTCM on a different serial line than what the GPS is connected to, the SkyTrax, then they require a second port. The other difference is there's a couple of new sentences, Panda, P-A-N-D-A, where that puts the IMU together with the GPS signal so that it's timed properly. And there's also SXT, which is KSXT for the BiNav, which is a built-in custom sentence within the BiNav that has all the information in a single sentence. Okay, moving camera. Under colors, there's the slider, smooth cam and direct cam. The direct cam, as you turn, you stick with the vehicle. So then as smooth cam, it's like a video game. So you can see that the vehicle changes and then eventually you catch up. So this is nice for like a wiggly screen rather than the whole screen moving. Now just the vehicle will move back and forth. So you can set that to whatever you want. The other part that's changed a lot is the steer settings now are no longer in config and they're all in one place over here in the steer settings. Now this is pretty much the same. If you click anywhere or touch anywhere in this area, it'll first expose the drive and the record feature for doing steer angle, that sort of thing. If you touch it again, here's all your Arduino settings. So now you can do everything on one screen and you can keep driving. You don't have to go back and forth between config and that sort of thing. So this is pretty handy. Yeah, again, as soon as you touch it, it goes back. You can pick 3 or you can just move it kind of anywhere you want, that sort of thing. You'll notice at the bottom here, the current sensor and the hydraulic pressure sensor that were on a lot of boards, they now, you can set them here instead of in the INO. And then this is a bar graph here that shows what the current level is or what the hydraulic level is. So it's all sent back here now. And that's a lot more handy. And remember, always remember to send. So again, play around with that. As you turn it off, of course, that all disappears. If you have the turn counts, then you have the counts. Current sensor, same thing as the hydraulic sensor. So that's kind of smart. It just turns itself off and on. So yeah, it's all in one place. So that's super handy. Okay, recorded path has changed. It's actually changed quite a bit. You can now save different paths and then select them as you want and then use it. And then this button here, you can see it, depending on where the pink dot is, that's where you will start when you hit play. So right now, it'll start at the beginning of the line. Here it says last stop position, like if we stopped over here, then it would continue where we last left off at. And then of course that one is wherever the closest point is, that's where it will start the recorded path. So then you just hit play and away it goes. It does move it a bit ahead. Otherwise you can't turn there. It'll start to make a whole bunch of circles. And if you want to turn it all off, then you just go path off and then it's all gone. And if there is a recorded path, then the path bar comes up all automatically. The record and the play and all that's still the same. But of course now you can save fields and save paths and recover paths, and you can do as many as you want. So that's much more flexible now. One of the things that I really wanted over probably at least 3 years now was the ability to be able to do the mapping and stuff directly in AgOpenGPS. And now, because we found this tiler, and what Tiles does is it goes online, and depending on the resolution, it goes and brings a bunch of 256 by 256 pixel maps, and then it creates the tiles into one existing map. So then you have this, and you can zoom in and out anywhere you want. And now if we take and scooch and move that over, if we turn the mapping on, now we just automatically, the mapping appears in AgOpenGPS directly. Now, that's pretty cool. And then sometimes the GPS of the mapping isn't exactly right to where it is in the world. And what these guys do is you can move the mapping a little bit north, a little bit south, a little bit east, a little bit west. That's all these arrows do, is move it back and forth. If you hit this centering twice, there, the little red dot comes up. You can take the red dot and take it out. Otherwise, if you want the little red dot on and you take an image, there's black and white, there's color. Black and white, so you can choose which you want. Then this little red dot will appear where you started the field. Let's scooch this into the middle. This part up on top here allows you to create boundaries. So here, boundary. So now you can make your boundary in your field right in AgOpenGPS. And there you go. You can delete points, just like in the like when you were driving around making points, that sort of thing. And you add it. So now we have the added to the field, and then you just keep drawing. If you want to draw inner boundaries, if you want to delete what you're drawing completely, you hit the trash can. There's an inner boundary. It also numbers them. And then you add that. Now you got your inner boundaries. If there's nothing up here and you hit delete, it'll say delete your last field boundary made. So yes, so now our inner boundary is gone. If I hit it again, then I can delete my outside one. So you can do pretty much all the boundary work right in here now. Again, if you want to zoom in, whoops, mouse is backwards. If you wanted to, get right in on this corner, you can do that. See, if I click and move it over, then I need to delete that guy. But I mean, depending on where you hold the cursor, like this, right? You can zoom in and out without touching it. So here we can, that's about as far as you can zoom in. So now you can make your corner, that sort of thing. Zoom right back out again. Anyway, I think you get the idea. And you don't have to close the loop. Wherever you stop, it'll just fill in the loop for you. And again, turn it off, and then wherever you click, now you're not in line draw mode. So this is line draw mode. If you want to turn the map off again, just do that. Take a picture, color or black and white. Super simple to use and really powerful. The bigger you make this, so when you're all done, hit the check mark. And then now as you zoom in, it disappears if you're really close. So really, it only kind of makes sense to have the map if you're zoomed out. Work switch has also changed. Down here. It's you can turn it off completely. That's the way it normally defaults. And then you can select whether you want the work switch or the steer switch to control your sections. If you select steer switch, if you select work switch, then you can have active high or active low, depending on what configuration it is. You can also activate manual sections, or you can activate auto sections. So hopefully this makes a lot more sense. The other way was just painful and it didn't make any sense whatsoever. So that's a major step forward. So yeah, that's version 5.5.